High school sports, we've got it covered. Overtime starts now.
Hello and welcome to Overtime, the place for high school football in the state line. I'm Scott Lubber.
And I'm Drew Collins. Tonight we have some very interesting matchups to bring to you, like the Oregon Hawks challenging the Byron Tigers and Lena-Winslow Panthers traveling to Rochelle.
We'll also spotlight a former East E-Rab who is now 103 years old. He suited up in the early 1940s. He'll tell us what that was like. Plus, he will tell us about another life experience he had, something known as World War II. Well, we begin with a very big game in the NIC 10 tonight, Harlem and Hononegah. And Drew, this game would reveal a lot about the strength of these two teams.
The Huskies have so much big play ability and an impressive young quarterback. But Hononegah is Hononegah, and they're always tough and on their new home turf. Let's go to Rockton's Kelsey Field for this one. It's the Gillies Heating and Air Conditioning Game of the Week. Grab your bug spray because the bugs were out tonight, but so was Dwayne Broom, sweeping his way all the way down the field before he steps out of bounds. After a scoreless first quarter, we go back to Harlem, and here's the sophomore quarterback, Braxton Fawcett, making some plays with his feet, gets inside the red zone before getting pushed out of bounds. Scott, I'm telling you, this kid has an extremely talented arm. Check out the throw on the run, and check out the catch. LeBron McLellan with the toe tapper, that would have been good in the NFL. So guess where Fawcett's going with the ball again? You guessed it, LeBron McLellan. What a dog. Believe it or not, here's Hano's only points of the night. A bad snap on the punt, and the punter kicks it through the back of the end zone. I've never seen this. Hano gets 2 points on the board. 10-2 following a Harlem field goal, and you might ask, what opened up this game? Well, here it is, the Cookie Monster. Jackson Cookie Cook fields the punt and goes all the way to the house. And Harlem's defense was so good. They had a ton of interceptions and big plays, but this one was the dagger. Brendan Brixton grabs the pick and puts this one away. Huskies defeat the Indians 24-2.
Good, man. We go to practice every day, man. We all come hungry, man. So we just got to go day by day. We're all brothers, so we all look out for each other, and we all got each other's back.
To do it for all the seniors on the team, how to break up the drought. It's great to have those weapons. LeBron on the touchdown, and I think it all opened up because Jackson, they were double teaming him the whole game.
I just think everyone's downing us, keep downing us, and saying how bad our defense is. But we came to everyone to the ball, tackled very well. So I think that's what limited the 2 points, and they weren't even on defense.
All right, let's talk about this with our NIC 10 analyst, Tim Bailey, who was at the game with me. Tim, Drew Shockley returned for Hano's offense, yet they didn't score any points. What were your thoughts on the offense for Hano?
It was very lethargic offense tonight. I didn't think they really got a rhythm going in the first half. Second half they came out, they tried to get a rhythm going, but they never really got their running game going tonight. As it relates to their passing game, I think they're missing the quarterback right now. I think Shockley's a good quarterback, but I don't think he's the guy that's going to actually continue to put W's in the W column for these guys. He had a lackluster performance tonight, but overall, how they played on offense, I just think they just need to get better. They have to find more playmakers than what they have on offense right now. But they're playing a good team like Harlem. Harlem just came ready to play tonight.
Yeah, Shockley too might be just a hair rusty because he hasn't played all year up to this point. But let's focus on Harlem's defense. They did not give up a point tonight. The 2 points Hano scored were on that safety on the bad snap punt. Through 3 games, Harlem's defense has given up just 9 points.
Wow.
What is it about this Harlem defense that you liked, Tim?
Well, they just flow to the ball, guys. They flow well. They play hard together. It was a concerted effort tonight on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. But as it pertains to defense, you had all 11 guys always flowing to the hat, always flowing to the ball. And then, what they do in the secondary, they actually blanket the secondary. I don't think they really gave up too many big plays in the air tonight. But again, what they did collectively as a unit, an 11-man unit on that field defensively, was nothing short than phenomenal. Congrats to Harlem on defense.
And we talked about it leading all the way into the season about the big play ability with Harlem. It was against a good Hano defense, yet it was still there.
Yeah, what they were able to do, they were able to get in their rhythm. First half, Harlem came out, established the run game, established the pass game. and just was really able to capitalize on some of the mistakes that actually Hononegah was making defensively. But don't take any credit away from Hononegah. I think Hononegah, again, they just need to find some playmakers, not just on offense but on both sides of the ball. You knew Harlem had the better playmakers tonight on offense as they actually came out and put up a great offensive display tonight.
Yeah, there's no substitute for speed and athleticism, and so just considering all the athletes we just talked about on that Harlem team, are they good enough to put Harlem over the top? Can they win this conference this year?
I think it's too early to tell. I think they're going to be in the mix. Guys, here in the next 8 or 9 weeks, I think we're going to be talking about Harlem, how the progressions that they're making week in and week out. But I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about them actually at the end of the season sitting in at that number 1 or number 2 spot. But they're talented.
It'll take a good team to beat them.
Yeah, right now Harlem's saying put some respect on my name.
Hey, and we are.
And we got to give them respect. They play well tonight, so hopefully they'll take this W, learn from their mistakes, and get ready for Jefferson next week.
And let's talk about the sophomore quarterback, Braxton Fawcett. He was really great, and he led the team to, I believe someone told me, not their first win at Hononegah in 9 years. That's impressive as a sophomore.
Yeah, that's impressive. I mean, the kid was hot. I like what he did. He's very poised in the pocket. You can't rattle the kid. I like that about him a lot. And the way he just facilitated that offense as a sophomore, he showed a lot of maturity. He showed a lot of zeal back there in that pocket. And I would have to say, based on what I saw tonight's performance from that young man, he's probably one of their true leaders on offense for sure.
All right, before we say goodbye to Tim, let's do our question of the week. Here it is. Who will be the Nick 10's defensive MVP this season? There are a whole lot of great candidates. Here are 5. Jackson Cook of Harlem, Keeson Taylor of Guilford, Messiah Tilson of Guilford, Eric Roman of Belvedere North, and Noah Rooney of Belvedere North. Which one of those guys you going with, Tim, or will it be somebody else?
Just because we're not in a conference to where you see a quarterback at every school, I got to go with an interior lineman. I got to go with Keeson Taylor for Guilford. I think he's going to continue to evolve over the weeks. Right now he's my number 1 solid pick because we are in a predominantly heavy run conference.
Drew, who are you going with?
Give me the cookie man. I'll take Jackson Cook.
I love him, especially at the next level. If you're talking about guys on there, a lot of those guys are going to do well at the next level.
Absolutely, for sure.
I'm going to go with Eric Roman only because he's right as a middle linebacker, interior linebacker. He's kind of in the middle of every play. Yep. He's not 20, 30 yards away like some of the DBs are. So I'll go with Eric Roman repeating as the defensive MVP.
I could go with that. He's a hard-nosed player, but again, like I stated earlier, we're not in a conference to where we see a lot of balls in the air. We're ground-oriented here in the Nick 10. We're a ground-oriented conference. So.
All right, folks, if you want more from Tim on Nick 10 football, check out the Bailey Pod. You can find a new episode on YouTube every Thursday, This week, he's joined by Harlem head coach Jim Morrow. Thanks, Tim. Let's do it again next week.
Absolutely.
All right, Tim, before we do anything else, let's find out who won our Athlete of the Week contest. Athlete of the Week is brought to you by McCloskey, Kessler, and Associates. Our finalists were Stockton's Noah Larson, Harlem's Jackson Cook, Dupac's Dermont Dolan, and Byron's Andrew Talbert. We gave you all this week to cast your vote.
And the winner is Harlem's Jackson Cook, the Cookie Man. He had 2 long touchdown catches last week against Auburn. This was a tighter race than last week. Out of almost 11,000 votes, Cook received 38% of them.
He's the second straight Harlem player to win our Player of the Week contest. Congrats to Jackson.
Coming up next, big Northern highlights from Winnebago and Stillman Valley.
And could the Oregon Hawks rise up in a key battle against the Byron Tigers? You're watching Overtime.
Byron hopes to repeat as the Big Northern Conference champion this year. The Tigers cleared a big hurdle last week when they defeated Dixon.
Maybe the next best team in the Big Northern is Oregon. The Hawks have talent, and they won their first 2 games. The Hawks travel to Byron tonight. Now, number 37 didn't suit up for Byron after getting dinged up last week. He will be back in action, though, soon. Caden McGow, though, is done for the season with his broken leg, and we will certainly hear from him, though, in the future. He's got a great career ahead of him. Now, with the Tigers a little thin in the backfield with the injuries, they went to the air a bit more in this one. Andrew Talbot lays it on the money to Landon Bonvalet for a second quarter touchdown and a 21-0 lead. Dawson Criddle got a lot of carries tonight. He'll advance the ball with a big run inside the 35-yard line. He runs hard. Talbot going to rely on his wheels here. He emerges from the pack and gives the ref a great view of his 30-yard touchdown. It was 28-0. You know, it's hard to contain Oregon's Cooper Johnson for an entire game. Look at him here spin off a couple of Tigers, and he will be gone. That's a 52-yard TD. That was the Hawks' only score of the game. Byron going to put up more points. Talbot lofts it up for J.J. Edmondson. Touchdown. For the second week in a row, the Tigers get a very big win, 35-7 over the Hawks.
At Winnebago, the Indians hosted Genoa Kingston in a big Northern game. Let's jump to the third quarter. Cogs ball, Cody Cravata play action. Anthony Gum receives it and goes for the big gain. Goes all the way into the red zone. Cravata this time gonna fake the handoff and power his way in for 6. Follow the big boys in front of him. Indians, Cooper Larson on the kickoff return. Passing, and he's gonna break some tackles. Look at the moves. He's gonna get all the way to the other side of the field. Look at the moves there, and evades another one. Finally brought down before being shoved out of bounds. Cade Langhoff, 3-step drop, looks right, and fires to a receiver to his left side, and Bryant Beck makes an excellent catch for the score. The Cogs defeated Bago 48-21.
Man, some great highlights in there by Bago. Stillman Valley got a big win at GK last week. Tonight, the Cardinals hosted a struggling and young Rockford Lutheran team. Crusaders went with freshman quarterback Cameron Wagaman again, and he dumps it off to Richard Anderson. Anderson gonna break a tackle, and he'll get across midfield with it. The Crusaders again with a little dump pass. Number 3, Bryson Batch, though, makes a big hit on the ball carrier, forcing a fumble. Ethan Wall secures it for the Cardinals. Stillman's offense in business in the first quarter. Tyler Ayotte trying the left side, and he just keeps fighting until he gets into the end zone. Cardinals went up 8-0 with the conversion. Still in the first quarter, QB Brandon Pittman on the option, keeps the ball. Here he comes. How about a cutback? It's coming. There it is. Great move there. Great run by Pittman. That set up this next play. Tyler Kenyon on the handoff. He's got one man to beat, number 22. Great juke move there, and Kenyon will have himself a touchdown. Stillman Valley defeated Lutheran 50-20. There were 2 other games involving Big Northern Conference teams. The Dixon Dukes dominated Rock Falls 70-0. North Boone defeated Peru St. Bede 20-14. North Boone, folks, is now 3-0. More Nick 10 action coming up next, plus we head to Durand.
And how did things play out tonight in Rochelle, where the Hubs hosted Lena-Winslow? Stick around, that's up next. Lena-Winslow and Rochelle have 2 of the best football programs in Northern Illinois and in the state. They have never played each other before.
But this year, the 2 programs decided to get together for a non-conference game. That game happened tonight in the Hub City. Tyler Sorensen was there. Tyler?
Yeah, hi guys. There's a lot of interest in this game when the schedule came out in the spring. 2 great programs with some great players. But the Panthers did suffer some injuries last week to key players in their game to Stockton. So could the Panthers still put up a good fight tonight and give the fans a great game? But hey, let's start in the opening drive with the Hubs with the ball. Quarterback Caden Hite tries to give it to his running back, but he drops it. Recovering is Lee Wynn, Aiden Wild. And hey, why not give it back to him on the following drive as Wild walks into the end zone, giving the Panthers a 6-0 lead. Now this game would end up being all Wild as he would score once again in the first half, making it 12-0 above Rochelle. Now Rochelle tried to find any sort of momentum, so why not give it to running back Dylan Manning as defenders bounce off of him, giving him the touchdown, cutting the lead to 5, making it 12-7. Now Lee Wynn are looking to score one more time before the end of the half as quarterback Brandon Smith has the ball and finds Miles Mann with no one around him for the score. This will be the first of only 2 passing attempts for the Panthers in the game, giving the Panthers a 20-7 lead. Now, let's jump all the way to the fourth quarter, 4th down, with Rochelle looking about to come back. Give the fullback Roman Villalobos, who gets hit in the backfield by Jeremiah Yutzi and gobbled it by the Lee Wynn defense as the Panthers would hold on to defeat the Hubs 20-7. Now, another key point to make is that Lee Wynn running back Alex Schlichting sat out a majority of the game. I was unable to confirm if it was an injury or just rest, but it's something to monitor going forward. Guys, back to you.
All right, I'm going to say this. I'm a little surprised that Lee Wynn went in there and took it to Rochelle pretty good like that. What did you forecast for this game?
Yeah, same. Rochelle's a very physical team, and they're a team that usually is in close games. If not, they're probably blowing out the other team. To see them on the other side of that, that's pretty alarming on my behind. Yeah.
And I thought Lee-Win might be a hair flat after losing that big game to Stockton last week. Plus, they had some key injuries going in this game. They were missing some key players, including their quarterback, and now maybe Schlichting was hurt. So, yeah, kudos to Lee-Win for going in there and getting the job done. All right, let's check out a couple more NUIC teams in action. Morrison against 2-0 Dupec at Durand's Legion Field. Dupec's Dermont Dolan keeping it himself. He's going to dive into the end zone for the first points of the game. Morrison with the football. And we got a high snap. Joshua McDermott sweeps over by the sideline for a big positive gain there. And a first down. Rivermen football next. Our cameraman getting a little faked out here. Where's the football? Where's the football? It's that guy ahead of everybody. That's the guy with it. Lucas Rossau, the QB, finds his way to the end zone. Second quarter, Dermont Dolan going to sneak here and just weave his way in for another touchdown. Look at that blocking, that surge up front. Dupec improves to 3-0 with a big 55-7 win. Also in the NUIC, Stockton stays undefeated with a 48-8 win over Dakota. Forreston got by Fulton for a big win, 36-28. Galena won a thriller over EPC, 27-16. The Pirates are very, very good.
We started the show with the Nick 10. Let's go back to the Nick 10. Auburn at Guilford. Second play of the game, Guilford's quarterback Grayson Weber finds Messiah Tilson in the flat. Watch as he dodges a couple nights before being taken down. Guilford now at the 10. Weber hands off the ball to Chris Porter. He crashes in for a touchdown and a 7-0 lead. Next, Auburn quarterback Daniel Ballard hands the ball to Gavin Sanders, but he runs into a wall of dark blue jerseys. Nothing going there for Sanders. Before the end of the first quarter, Weber hands the ball off and Guilford plows through for another touchdown. All Guilford in this one. The Vikings defeated Auburn 56-13. Also in the Nick 10, Freeport defeated Belvedere 20-9. Belvedere North breezed past East 42-0. And here are some other scores from around the area. Muhammad Seymour defeated Sycamore 45-16. Canelan handled DeKalb 35-7. Woodstock got by Harvard 27-20, and Marengo got a 1-point win over Woodstock North 14-13.
In 8-man football, Olden Hebron defeated Hiawatha 48-12. South Beloit beat Abundant Life 36-20. Christian Light put up 50 points on Westminster Christian, winning 50-41. Milledgeville defeated AFC 64-6. Polo beat West Carroll 30-20. Orangeville gets a win over River Ridge 46-20, and Amboy wins another one 56-6 over Bushnell Prairie City.
A Spotlight segment is up next.
We are going to meet a former East E-Rab who has a unique perspective on high school football in the early 1940s because that's when he played it. High school football has been around the Rockford area for more than a century. One of the oldest living former players, and possibly the oldest living former player, is a former Rockford East E-Rab. Gene Kleindl is 103 years old. I caught up with him tonight for our Overtime Spotlight story, brought to you by Rockford Career College. It's fun to leaf through the old East High School yearbooks going back to 1941 and 42. Those were the days when Gene Kleindl attended East.
Like sports, so took part in anything I could to enjoy myself.
He competed in basketball, baseball, and track in addition to football.
In football, I was a blocking halfback. I had just one play. Otherwise, my mission was to block for the other guys.
Did you like that part of the game, the physical part of hitting people?
Yeah, one time I knocked out two guys.
Whoa.
But I knocked out one guy, knocked it right into the path of another guy.
Kleindl's last few high school years were right after Old Rockford High School split into East and West High Schools. Did the students accept the division of Rockford High School into two high schools, or were there some people who were unhappy about that? What do you recall?
I think most of it accepted the idea that a change had to come.
In those days, East played its games at Beyer Field, the same location where the Rockford Peaches played.
They had two fields. One field, big field, where lots of seats, and then then they had a practice field off to the left.
And yes, Kleindl recalls attending some Peaches games.
Yeah, they really, that was kind of a new thing, see women playing.
Kleindl says in his day, high school football players didn't lift weights.
I don't think we did any of that.
Kleindl's years at East High School prepared him for another team, the U.S. Army. He enlisted because his brother Cliff was drafted. Kleindl figured he would eventually get drafted as well. He found himself right smack in the middle of World War II.
I became a medic. I was very fortunate to do that.
Kleindl experienced the worst that a major war has to offer. 2 days after D-Day, he arrived in Normandy, where battles raged on. He treated wounded soldiers under fire. Were you frightened? Were you afraid for your life?
I think we just went along with what was happening and didn't worry about that part.
He was also at the Battle of the Bulge. In addition to being a medic, Kleindl was also a stretcher bearer. He carried away wounded soldiers and dead ones on a stretcher. After the war ended, he helped liberate prisoners at the Nazi concentration camp in Flossenburg near the German border with Czechoslovakia. He helped treat the survivors.
It was a pretty sad situation there in those concentration camps. There were just piles of dead bodies laying around.
In October 1945, Kleindl was discharged. He was able to come home to Rockford. He was awarded several medals for his service. They're on display now in his bedroom. They include a Purple Heart, a Bronze Star, and France's Legion of Honor, France's highest distinction. Kleindl's made many, many trips back to Normandy over the years. He was just there again this past June.
Well, when you go over there and see all those tombstones, and you know, and the names on there, it brings back a lot of memories of some of the friends that you lost.
What a thrill it was for me to spend a few minutes with Kleindl this week because he is a true American hero.
Yeah, and East High School has something special coming up for him next.
Yeah, they sure do. At halftime of their football game 2 weeks from tonight, September 26th, they're going to honor him, so that should be a great moment. We'll be right back. It's time for our Napleton Auto Group Play of the Night.
It's the top play caught on our cameras. Hononegah versus Harlem. Jackson Cookie Cook going to field this punt return, and he's going to go all the way. Now, somebody from the Harlem sideline told me, hey, it's simple. Do not punt the ball to Jackson Cook. And Nick 10 teams that have Harlem on the schedule, they might want to listen to that assistant coach.
Yeah, he'll take it to the house on you in a heartbeat, that's for sure. Hey, we're going to be right back here with you every Friday night through the season on Fox 39.
Next week, we should be on at 10:30, right after a good Big Ten football game between the Iowa Hawkeyes and Rutgers. Remember, you can also get highlights and scores anytime on our website, mystateline.com. All right, that does it for this show.
Thanks for watching and enjoy your weekend.